Hello, this is Hot Indonesia, and welcome to those of you watching in the United States. I'm Dalton Tanonaka in Jakarta. Here is this week's HI Hotlist. Breaking Bali. Not reopening to international tourists as planned is devastating for this resort island. We talk impact with Ricky Putra, chairman of the Bali Hotel Association. Global stage. The president will finally address the United Nations. What should or must Jokowi say? And Popcorn Palace. Movie theaters will reopen soon. Do we really need them anymore? Here now are my smart and energetic co-hosts. Sitting in for Sandrina Malakiano this day is Linda Ibrahim, business consultant and writer from her home in Jakarta. And of course, Sandiaga Uno, former vice governor of Jakarta, from his home in South Jakarta. Here's hot topic number one, breaking Bali. The news hit hard after planning to reopen to international visitors on September 11th. Authorities said that that's not going to happen because of the ongoing threat of COVID-19. Tourism is 80% of the global resort destination's economy. Desperate times just got even more desperate. Ricky Putra is chairman of the Bali Hotel Association, made up of 160 members. He's also general manager of the Royal Santrian Group, and he's coming to us this day from Benoa. Ricky, I'm sure your members and most of Bali was disappointed when the governor made his announcement of no international visitors until the end of the year. First, if you can, for perspective, give us some numbers. How many hotels closed? How many workers out of jobs?
In Bali, over 5,000 accommodation available. And for the BHA itself, we do have 160 hotels for all over in Bali. At the moment, is only 25 of them are open. So even less than 20%. And then looking at the number of the employees that we do have over 29,000 employees or staff, and then over 36,000 rooms. So at the moment, the record that we have from last week was almost 3,200 staff was on laid off, and over 76,000 of the staff now is on unpaid leave or house without salary. This is the situation that we are facing now. And then with the delay of the international open for the traveler, it mean could be worse in the next 2 or 3 months. So, but really hope this doesn't happen, but we'll see. And then I couldn't give you the data in the next 2 or 3 weeks. We'll see after that.
Yeah, Ricky, I think everyone wonders, and not just in Bali, but throughout Indonesia and the world, how are your workers surviving? Because we know that many husband and wives both work in a hotel or work somewhere in the hospitality industry. How are they paying the bills?
This is not easy. So as everyone feel, and then again, most of our staff now is who are coming from the north and then west and then east, they are going back to their villages. And then again, they are going back to help their parents, helping their family at home, either farming or doing fishing or anything that they can do to survive their life day by day. So of course, now the government also give some, is help on the financial. I really hope that could be happen sooner as well.
Sandy, question for Ricky.
I am so devastated. My heart, my thoughts, all my prayers are with the people in Bali who are basically have to deal with this very, very difficult situations and just being announced the delay. It is, I'm obviously not going to state the obvious that the governor is making the decisions in the best interests of the Balinese in terms of making sure that the COVID-19 situation is well handled. Now my question, Chairman Ricky, is in terms of programs from the government, what do you think would be the most effective programs from the government, and how do people in Jakarta and other people can help the situations in Bali?
The data from the Bank Indonesia last month was in the second quarter that Bali is has been declined almost 10.98 or almost 11% on the economic growth. So again, we really hope moving forward that we will receive their support from Jakarta by having more meetings in Bali, and then more corporate activities in Bali. And then we really hope one day that Pak Jokowi will be able to come and visit us in Bali, like what we have experienced in the past during the Mount Agung eruption. So this is again showing that Bali restart their tourism, and then we also want to work together, hands on hands, to help the Balinese people. Because again, we've been doing nothing almost in the 5 or 6 months, and then what we believe moving forward is with the very strict protocol SOP that we have already in place. So health and economics should be coexist, and then both of them should be working hand to hand together with the very, very strict protocol, wearing the face mask, and then the social distancing, all these things that we need to practice. And also, of course, we need to work harder for the Balinese people, because the number of the positive cases in the last 1 week also keep increasing.
Linda, question for Ricky, please.
You mentioned about health protocols, and I agree that's the key for opening any activity, especially tourism. Could you elaborate more beyond just wearing masks and face shields? How do you actually make sure that people do that? Do you have like other, let's say, safeguards from the association going to from one establishment to another and making sure that people actually implement that? Because what happened, just like last month, there was a big yoga kirtan gathering that it was illegal, and that happened twice and led to someone being deported. I think it was a Syrian man being deported, right? So could you perhaps tell us how exactly are you going to implement those health protocols beyond words?
As of 2 months ago, we received already all their cleanliness, health and safety and environment SOP from the Minister of Tourism. Then after that, we also adopted in Bali and taking most of it. And then since last month, all hotel in Bali now start doing the verification. So I'm one of the verificator. So all hotel in Bali has to be verified and before they open. So now we have over 100 hotels and 20 tourist destination, like 25 malls or shopping center has been verified by the team of province and also the region.
Are you going to have like a sign of verification on that establishment so that people will know?
Correct. So everyone who has passed this verification, they will receive the certificate who are signed by the head of the tourism and also the governor of Bali.
Okay, Ricky Putra, chairman of the Bali Hotels Association, thank you very much for your time. I know you're a busy man and we appreciate you coming on. Hot Indo will continue shortly with Global Stage. What must Jokowi say in his United Nations debut? You're watching Hot Indonesia with Linda Ibrahim, Sandy, and me. Here's hot topic number 2, Global Stage. Now, he's never done it since he took office 6 years ago, so many eyes will be on Indonesia's president when he addresses the United Nations in New York later this month. Because of the global pandemic, the address to the General Assembly will of course be done virtually. But even that is being welcomed by analysts who say Joko Widodo must step up and not leave it to others. Now, in the past, Jokowi sent representatives to global events, as we know. Linda, start with you. What should the president begin with when he addresses the General Assembly?
It's going to be two things. In the short run, what and how he's going to manage the plague. Because so far we have not done a very good job at that. I mean, just looking at the report from The Economist last week. that he has to establish first, and beyond just words, he has to be very clear on what he's done and what he's going to do differently, because what we've done is just not enough. Then he can move on to the medium or the long-term plans about welcoming investment and everything else, because before establishing the first on the short run how we're going to manage the pandemic, any words he's saying about a medium and a long-term plan about welcoming investment, which I bet what he's going to say, would not mean so much.
Yeah, you're right. And as we know, Indonesia is in the group of 20 leading economic nations at G20, but we're only considered a middle power in global terms. So, Sandy, what would you say if you were standing on the podium, even virtually, to world leaders about our country's role?
First, I would apologize that I have not been showing up in the last 6 years. Secondly, I would say that by not showing up doesn't mean that Indonesia is not basically fulfilling what the founding fathers want this country to do, which is to be active in the international relations and trying to have a peaceful world and actually contribute to the global issues. But I would traverse right away in saying that we are the fourth largest country in the world, third largest democracy. We have to punch basically close to our weight, and saying that we have been missing in the last 6 years, but we are now back, and this COVID-19 will accelerate the Indonesia's repositioning in the global world, whereby we will take actions, we will take leadership regionally and globally. We will say that this pandemic teaches us that we cannot solve the issues by ourselves. We need global cooperations. We will take some kind of, special sessions in terms of how we deal with this health crisis, how we would accelerate vaccines development and deployment to our, global communities.
Yes, Andy, cynics might say, does it really matter? Because some analysts say platforms like the UN are becoming less important as more countries, in particular China, are doing unilateral deals. Do you agree at all with that cynicism?
I think there will be, the need for multilateral, like where the UN would play the role, and there's also bilateral. So it's going to be, this is a new reality in the international diplomacy. We cannot just rely on this platform, the multilateral platform, but we also have to go on a move very quickly, being nimble, being flexible, deal on a bilateral basis and on a regional basis. ASEAN has not been too front center during this pandemic. This is probably the time for ASEAN to step up to the plate and take a larger role.
Okay, Linda, wouldn't it be cool if Jokowi made a bold announcement that caught global attention, or is it enough that people would just say, okay, he finally showed up?
Well, here's the thing. I'm not very much fan of jargons, and unfortunately, Indonesian leaders have been known for just doing that, whenever they appear on the global stage. I would like to actually hear something that are implementable, something that are concrete, something that is more towards execution. More than just the big plans of saying, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But how are you going to do that? You know what I mean? And I'm afraid with Jokowi, the problem is he loves having all of these big ideas, but he's never been very good in explaining how we're going to get there. We're moving the capital. Oh, yeah, great. How are you going to do that? Where's the money to do that? What are your building blocks to do that? Oh, we're going to have a vaccine ready by January 2021 and given to everyone. Okay, if you do the math, you are going to have to produce at least and administer at least about 100,000 vaccine per day since January 1st before you even hit half of the country by December 31st, 2021. I mean, those are the real math. And
Okay.
so,
Yeah, I got it. You like action, not just words. You're a doer.
because because I came from Indonesia, and unfortunately my leaders have not been that. Had I been raised in another country, I probably would have been about, oh, let's do big picture. Oh, forget big picture. We're not very good even with small pictures here.
Okay, I got where you're coming from, Linda. And by the way, the last time a U.S. or an Indonesian president addressed the UN was in 2014, and that was Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono.
He has been known to be man of action, and this is listening from Linda is actually reminding us also that size comes with responsibility. I mean, the country is the fourth largest, and by 2045 we are projected to be the fourth largest economy of the world. So it comes with global responsibility, and I think this is where the action needs to be turned into an implementable roadmap on how we're going to achieve what we have been saying so far.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Maybe Linda should be advising the president on what to say.
Kudos to that. More women.
Oh God, no.
Yeah. She'd shake
I'd be
things
fired
up.
on the second day because I speak too much. I speak too openly. You'd fire me on the second day.
Okay, more Hot Indo is ahead with Popcorn Palace. Will we ever need movie theaters as we did before? You're watching Hot Indonesia from Jakarta. Hot topic number 3, Popcorn Palace. Movie theaters will soon be allowed to reopen under strict rules in the capital. Mall operators say they are crucial in attracting customers while lifting the general public mood. Among the new guidelines to go in, all ticket sales done online, masks required of course, and separated seating. And one more regulation which I kind of have an issue with. Children and senior citizens will be banned. I know people who say they're older to get senior citizen discounts. Now they will have to lie to say they're younger to get into the theaters. I'm told. Depends where that age line is set. But anyway, Linda, are you a moviegoer, and is this important to you?
I am a moviegoer, and I miss going to the movies a lot for its magic. Even if you have a monster TV in your home, it's not the same as going to a movie theater when your focus is sucked into that screen, and your senses just inhale the sound, the visuals, the characters and all that. But having said that, am I going back to the movie theater before vaccine? No way. I'm not crazy enough. I'm just gonna suck it up, just watching my decent size of a TV and try to see any movie that I can. I'm not returning to the movie theater, although I'm not ruling it out after the vaccine. After the vaccine, I'll be one of the first ones actually lining up on 21. You'll see me.
Yeah, I'll see you in line. Okay, Sandy, some people might argue that maybe movie theaters will become obsolete because of YouTube and streaming services. People got used to watching movies at home. Are you one of those?
I would not be so fast in saying that movies industries or cinema are the sunset industries. Actually, cinemas are 20 to 30% do contribute to the traffic of the malls. And as you know, malls actually contribute to a number of jobs. It actually come from a heavy lobby from the malls operator saying that without the movies, they're losing traffic. And it's tough to keep employees on their payroll. So tough, it's a situations that we are facing. So I guess it will come back to very strict, very disciplined implementations of health protocol and COVID-19 protocol. Health and safety would be the number one priority here. And we need to make sure that those protocols in place before we even consider moving into opening the cinemas.
Health issues first. Regarding the actual issue of cinema, I'm with Linda. I like the big sound. I think you do, Sandy, the big screen. But more so, I like to escape. For 2 hours, I can sit there and not think about what's going on outside in the world whether it's traffic or COVID, you can. It's an escape from reality, and that's what I hope it remains as an entertainment option.
If I may add, not going to have children on the movie theaters is going to impact the sales a lot, because if you look at the statistics, is the movies for children, especially from Disney, they have garnered so much sales, not just from the tickets, but also from the merchandises.
Yeah, of course. You gotta balance. You got to balance revenue with health issues. So
true, but they're gonna lose that if they open not for children.
I see.
This will not impact Dalton, because Dalton will go into the senior citizens category. So you will not.
No. I'm in the middle group there. Come on, Sandy. Depends what that age. They haven't said the age, whether it's 60 or 55 or whatever.
I think it's going to be set at 55.
55? Damn. Guys, it's feedback time now, and we want to hear from everybody wherever you're watching us from. First, from Kernia on Instagram. He says this: my business went bankrupt due to the pandemic. What can I do? Sandy, quick answer.
There's options to reopen when you pivot, because this is, I guess, what happens during every crisis, that a lot of businesses are closed. But most of the very positive and optimistic-minded entrepreneurs would have a chance to review and pivot and fix their operations to cater to the new normal, to the new reality.
Yeah, let's hope Kernia does that, is able to do that.
Semangat
second
pa,
comment
Kernia.
now.
Please stay safe.
Shafiq said this on our YouTube page. His short but appreciated comment posted saying, great show. That's all he said. We appreciate that. Here's how to contact us with your feedback. Email at hotindo@theindonesiachannel.com or comment through our Hot Indonesia or Indonesia Channel Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube pages. Final words, Linda.
This week marks the 6th month since the pandemic officially began in Indonesia, and we've lost about 7,000 victims, and then we've lost definitely 100 doctors, and unfortunately those numbers are counting. We have not done well, and if the government is not going to radically change the way they manage the pandemic, then not only that 2020 is a lost year for Indonesia, I'm afraid 2021 as well will be a lost year. And if you're thinking recession for 2 quarters in a row is a bad news, imagine what's going to happen if we're going to continue to have recession for about a year. Then we're probably entering into the depression if you're talking about economic definitions. So there's not much to talk about except what the government will do differently to handle the pandemic. Then we can talk about everything else after that.
Okay, final word, Sandy.
Last week, we reminded the government to implement the policies that has been announced, but the realizations have been quite slow. So my final words this week is going to be on the people, to remind the people, because we also play a very significant role, and we do have responsibility. So guys, if you don't really have to go out, stay home. Last week I had 3 of my very close friends actually got COVID-19, so it's real. It's happening around us. Secondly, if you cannot stay home, if you have to go out, do the health protocol. Very, very disciplined. Guys, this is the time to actually contribute.
And my final words, Linda touched on this. The president provided hope, actual hope this week when he announced that mass vaccinations against COVID-19 will be ready in January. Indonesia will buy the first supplies from China and the UAE, then make it here. He said the vaccine will be given free to everyone, so that's good news. But clinical trials must still be done, so we must wait to be sure it works before we can see the light in these dark times. And that is Hot Indonesia for this week. For Linda Ibrahim and Santiago Uno, I'm Dalton Tanaraka. Thank you very much for watching, and please join us again next time.